Hi everyone, this is Kristen with the Tech Reviewer. Thanks so much for joining me for my unboxing of my brand new iPhone 14 Pro in gold. So this is the first year that I've gotten gold in a long time. I usually go for silver and then one of the specialty colors, but this year I went with silver for my iPhone 14 Pro Max and gold for the iPhone 14 Pro. So really fun combo there. I'm very curious to see what shade of gold Apple has in store for me for the 14 Pro. I know that they change it a little bit every year. It's been since the iPhone XS Max since I had a gold phone. Really looking forward to checking this out. So let's get this unboxed. So just a quick note on Apple's eco-commitment. They've been trying to use less plastic in their packaging. They used to swath the entire box in plastic. Now they just have a couple of paper strips that you need to peel off in order to break the seal. And now for the actual unveiling. We get to see what the actual color is. And I have to say, first impressions are really positive. I was worried that this was going to be a really strong color of gold, but actually it's quite understated. Looks really sophisticated so far, but obviously we'll look at this in greater detail. But let's see what else is in the box. We just have a USB-C to Lightning cable, nothing exciting there. We don't have a wall charger, we don't have any headphones, and we have a little sheaf of regulatory info and a SIM card removal tool. So it used to be there was a plastic sheet you had to peel off both the back and the front of iPhones, and now they don't have one on the back at all, and on the front they have changed to paper. So in my opinion, the iPhone 14 Pro in gold is exactly what you'd be expecting from a flagship Apple product. You've got a very high quality appearance. Everything is just lovely, and the gold color is really perfect on here. I was a little worried it'd be too blingy, but it's not. It's understated, it's sophisticated, and just lovely. The only problem that I have with it is that it shows an incredible number of fingerprints, super fingerprinty, even more so than the stainless steel sides on the silver. But other than that, just lovely. Everything looks beautiful. So looking at the back, we have a frosted glass on here, which is very fingerprint resistant, unlike those fingerprint magnet stainless steel sides. So that is a good thing. Also, I think that they got the color spot on here for the back. So in previous years, sometimes I've not been crazy about the color of the gold phones, but this year it's just really, really nice. It's just very slightly glittery, but not too much, not too dark, not too light, just lovely. So this frosted glass feels lovely underneath the fingertips and it doesn't collect fingerprints. We have a non-frosted glass around your camera array here, which sets them off, makes them look kind of like they're floating. Everything looks great there. So our cameras are going to be a bit bigger. They're going to stick out more than on the 13 Pro. Also, your 14 Pro phone is very slightly thicker also and a little bit taller, but the same width that we had with the 13 Pro. So our camera now has a 48 megapixel main camera here. That's super exciting. However, you don't have to worry about getting absolutely enormous photos with this, however, because unless you turn on Apple Pro RAW mode to get your 48 megapixel images, you're just going to get the same 12 megapixel images you got before, because Apple uses something called pixel binning, where they take the best of every 4 pixels and use them to create a superior image. So this, along with the larger sensors that the camera has, is going to give you better low light photography. There's also something called the photonic engine this year, which is also going to help with low light photography. Overall, I think you're going to get really great photos here with the new camera. As far as water resistance, it's going to be the same as last year, so 6 meters for 30 minutes. No changes there. Moving to the front of the phone, we have the same ceramic shield screen on here that we had last year, so that's going to be really impact resistant, but not necessarily more scratch resistant, so you might want to consider using a screen protector with this phone. Also note that we have the glorious new always on display, so you can see a dimmed down version of your screen background. You also can have time and date and any widgets that you choose to have on there. Also, if you have some sort of activity going on, like a timer or something like that, that's also going to display on here with your always on display. And don't worry that this is going to be sucking battery from your device. So the new iPhone 14 Pro versions have adaptive refresh rates between 1 and 120 Hertz. So when it's using this always on display mode, it's only at 1 Hertz of power. So that is all quite excellent. So looking at the 14 Pro with the screen on, you can see we've just got a beautiful screen, lovely colors, very bright and vibrant. Actually, the 14 Pro has a brighter screen than the 13 Pro, particularly useful when you're outside. So the outdoor brightness maxes out at 2000 nits for the 14 Pro as opposed to 1200 nits for the 13 Pro. So that's great if you do outdoor activities a lot, although keep in mind, of course, that's going to drain your battery faster. Battery life is pretty similar, I think, between the 14 Pro and the 13 Pro. We don't really have any advantages there. So looking at the screen, a lot of people are going to notice that we have something called the dynamic island now instead of the notch. So the notch never did anything, it just sat there and irritated people, but the dynamic island has features. So the deal here is that it's going to show events that happen, and then it'll display them, and then it will go away, or it will show in the background that you have an ongoing activity. So for example, something like charging is going to be an event that it will show. So if I put this battery pack on here to charge, it's going to show that, oh look, we're charging, but then it goes away. So it automatically adjusts its size to show and then go away. You can also see your charging up here with your little charging icon. But now your dynamic island has shrunk back down to its smaller pill form. So something that's going in the background that you might want to pay ongoing attention to is going to continue to be displayed up here. So a timer is a good example of that. So going in here to our clock, we start a timer, and then go back out here, and you can see now our dynamic island has expanded out to show the timer. So I can click on here to go into the clock function, or I can just show it, and I could turn it off here if I wanted to, but I don't. I'm just going to leave it there. And then if you have two activities, then your dynamic island is going to split. So I'm going to go in here to Maps, and then if you look here, you can see now we have something here for the map, and we also have the timer. So really cool there. Still go and look at your timer, or you can go and look at your map. Overall, just a really, really nice feature. This is probably my favorite thing about the new iPhone 14 series. I think that it's a really innovative use of space and just a very welcome addition to the phone. So other than that, not a lot of other huge changes to the phone. We do have a better selfie camera on here because this now has autofocus, but it's still a 12 megapixel camera here for your selfie camera. And of course, we do have a better processor on here. This is the A16 Bionic processor as opposed to the A15 Bionic, which is going to be used by the regular iPhone 14 and the 14 Plus. So for those of you that are trying to decide between the iPhone 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max, I have both of them here. So I've got the 14 Pro in gold we've been looking at today, and I also have the 14 Pro Max in silver. Both of these are just lovely options. So unlike in previous years, there is no difference in feature set between the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. These are going to be exactly the same. You've got the same dynamic island, same always on display. You do have obviously the larger screen with your 14 Pro Max, but other than that, same cameras, etc. So it just all depends upon what kind of phone you're looking for. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Got some really nice features there. Color-wise, I think that the gold is absolutely beautiful, and I've been a fan of the silver iPhones for years. I think that those are classic, lovely Apple colors. They look fantastic, and I think that they're going to wear well over time. So it just depends on which one appeals to you. I don't think you can go wrong with either choice. So for those of you that might not be familiar with my channel, it focuses on iPhone related accessories. So I'm going to have tons of screen protector and case reviews coming up for the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. So you might want to subscribe so you don't miss out on any notifications. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like because that's really helpful for my channel. Again, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video and have a wonderful day.